Alrighty then, welcome back everybody, welcome back. So today I actually wanted to continue and finishing off the foreground. And that will be it for today. So let's get it on and hopefully get this all done. So first things first, getting the rocks colored up. So that is going to be a color scheme. And then once that is done, I can then start with the grass, then with the sand. And then I think we actually have the whole foreground fully done. And then I can actually focus on the next bit, which is going to be taking a little bit more longer than the rest. And I should not draw this on this layer. I have been doing some bits here and there, mainly because I actually had to fix the eye positioning, because the eye was actually looking downwards and not upwards. So I actually fixed that by now. It actually looks towards the other character that's on the other bits of rocks. Alright, no further ado, let's get started. Let's see, yes, this one. So yeah, honestly it has actually been, this actually has been quite fun to do. Just, casually getting back at it again and then just, do from time to time to work on it. I have been busy a little bit here and there, mainly with some reservations, because I actually wanted to go on vacation, and well, I had to do that, and I always require that full focus for, because well, I normally don't do reservations myself, which is a little bit of a unique take on it, because well, I learned a lot from it, and like what I need to do, where I need to be at with all the reservations itself, and hopefully now I can actually get myself a good old-fashioned vacation. It's gonna be a vacation of like going inside my own country, but then again, it's hot enough here, so I doubt I will be complaining about that part. Because I do like a little bit of tropical temperature here and there, although I don't want it to have like extremely hot, which actually did happen, like what was it, 2 weeks ago. Luckily, most of that has actually subsided, so now it's just moist and that's it. It's not that hot, so. I'm also planning to improve on my cooking skill these weeks as well. I'm trying to see if I can get some dishes done, because well I actually tried that last week. Turns out I was an absolute terrible cook. I tried to make myself some noodle soup, and I used a little bit too much salt on it, which I absolutely immediately began to regret. The moment I tasted it, I was like, oh god, this is way too salty. And well, it ruined the entire dish, which I was very sad to see, because I actually had the meat perfectly well done. I had the greens in it as well, vegetables basically. I had the vegetables as well done, decent, I think. Yeah, decent. And then the salt absolutely ruined everything, so I'm trying to see if I can get myself revenge on that, and then hopefully get that done as well. And well, yeah, I'm also working on some bit of work, and that is mainly just casual things like the gardening and all that stuff. It's not very interesting, but I'm trying to get myself a nice little bit of a vegetable garden up and running, or at least that's the plan. Because it turns out I'm an absolute terrible person when it comes to keeping my garden up and shaping. Oh well, up into shape basically. And I think like having a vegetable garden will make me proactive on keeping it in a nice condition, basically. And at least that's my plan. Of course, I always need to be a little bit busy on the schedule. Luckily, from this day on, I actually have vacation, basically, for until August is done. So that makes me able to do things more often, like stream and all that stuff. So I'm gonna be trying to get that planning up and running as well, like doing a bit more proactive streaming. Well, No, not oh well, I mean, like, it's a good thing to have. Mainly because I actually wanted to get this drawing a little bit more done quicker. I know myself that I will probably hit a big giant I will probably hit myself with a big giant brick wall, mainly because I actually wanted to add something in here which I'm not proficient with, and that is indeed a little bit of an issue. But I guess it cannot hurt to try. I'm trying to get one of the visual novel characters in this, which was the plan already, but I was a little bit afraid of getting it done, mainly because it is quite a hefty bargain to do, because I'm not that great with drawing. I have not drawn like a full character in, like, what is it, 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. So I will try to see if I can get that done. I'm also trying to see if I can get a positioning done and then work from there, and hopefully get the character done into the right position so that I can actually get it to do the emotion that I actually wanted to do, which is like, looking at a crystal and then seeing the rhino, showing up, trying to ready to charge her. That's basically the entire idea. So yeah, I cannot wait from that. I cannot wait from that to start. I hope at least that it actually does look nice in the end. I think it will. It's just that character design is always a thing that always takes a lot of time. That's why I actually wanted to move on a little bit more quicker on this bit. Well, I don't want to rush it, of course, but I want to spend a little bit more time into it, and then hopefully get this done by August. Yeah, by the beginning of August, I actually want this to be at least halfway done, most likely. I think the most of the time that I will be spending is most likely on the second character as well, because right now the big character right now in the middle is already fully drawn in. It's just now little bits and pieces, and then once that is done, I can then actually get towards the other character. So at least that's a little bit of progress that actually does go fast. Although most of this is always a lot of busy work. It's like you're working on one bit, and then you realize like I finally have finished it. But it always takes a little bit more time than you want to hope for. But so far it looks good. I think most of this is actually getting pretty well done. I'm also working on getting this thing done by that side. Yes, sweet. Oh, fuck. I always need to remember that things are not always split evenly here. And where I left a little bit of gaps, I will be adding in texture. So that's the thing that I'm going to be working on once this is done. So I can see that there is texture needed, and then I'm working on that part. So like here I can actually add in texture, and here I can add in texture. So that's things that I need to always be aware of. That the drawing is always not correct, but once you work on the drawing, you can always look back at it, and then you see the mistakes that you made the first time. This is why I always try to work in how do you say it, steps, and then you do the step, and then when you're done with the step, you can see the mistakes that you left behind. Then you fix up the mistakes, and then you continue forward towards the next step. That's how I always like to build, because that makes me having a schedule on it, and it also improves on not getting stuck too much on the same thing every single time. So getting prepared for what you need to fix is always important. And once you make a mistake, the next time you see it, you can always avoid it a little bit more faster. Because that's why you use steps, so that you don't get overwhelmed by the mistakes that you left behind. For instance, on this one, I can see now that I have left out some textures, which I need to fix up by putting those textures back in. Of course, that takes time, but, time is not an issue here and there, luckily. And once that is all done, I can then actually get myself some nice looking rocks. Alright. So, the main issue that I have now is that I'm working on getting these rocks done, right? And you can see that it requires a third color to highlight the rocks a little bit more better. But before I can do that, I need to add in the texture. That's the main issue. And hopefully, once this is all done, I can then focus on that. And then I can start focusing again on coloring it all up, because, well, that's the main thing that I'm doing right now. And you can see that I'm also made a mistake here. So we're going to pick up that color again, clean that up, bada bing bada boom, and it's done. That's the best part of it. It is quite easy to interact with, and keeping everything like separate on layers is also a good way to make sure that you don't remove things that actually are supposed to be removed. Well, that are not supposed to be removed, I mean. Let's see, I need to also add in here. I need to also add in here as well. And now we should have what I want. Yes, we do. Alright, so now I can actually see like where I have left the textures and which textures I need to add in more aggressively, or more basically, to gain the same effect. Because these rocks are all good and dandy, but they require some texture to get it into the state where they represent rocks properly. And that's always a thing that I'm always a little bit of wary of, because sometimes tiny mistakes hide in very, very big corners, and I do not want that to happen. But yeah, I'm focusing now on first coloring things up that I want to be colored up, and then I can actually see where I need to fix the texturing part. Luckily, it is all just casually coloring things, so it should not be that much of an hassle. And you can see that I need to actually add in here. I need to add in some line work as well. Well, luckily I can actually pull that off. It just requires some time, and the more I do this, the better it gets. That's the best part. Now if I zoom out, I can actually see where I left off, and I can see that yes, there are some little bit of mistakes that I need to fix, because the textures of the rocks are not correct. That's the main issue here. Or texture is missing, which is also an issue. Luckily, these tiny little rocks provide with quite a good amount of guidance. Alright, so that is also a thing that I need to fix. Well, luckily I can do that in just tiny little bits here and there. There we go. Easy. And now that should work. There we go, and easy. Oh. Don't draw that one. It's just simple coloring of rocks, and then after that I will add in more texture, and then once the texture is done, I can then actually add in the next color, which is then the last one, which is the highlight color, and then that should give me enough leeway to get these rocks to become real rocks, because then they look real, basically like that. And then we can actually add in the sand effect that I did on the beaches part, on one of the drawings that I did for the spring. Yeah, the spring. So I made some beaches, and I actually want to see if I can get that sand on those beaches also on this one, because I actually like that effect and I actually like to keep it. So making an imitation of it again is always a good thing. I can always look back at my videos as well if necessary, but I think I can replicate it. So that's the good part about it. If you just come up with it yourself, it's easier to remember. Well, to remember is always easy. Just make sure that you always put a lot of love into it, and then most likely it will happen. Remembering how you did draw things is all about muscle memory, so that's the whole point. Alright, let's see. This is the drawing of the rocks knot, and this is the rock part where I need to be. Yes. Alright, so we have these rocks. And I can see that these rocks are a little bit of an issue, because they don't represent the rocks that I want to represent. So let's remove these little bits, these smudges, and then get back at it again. Because these smudges are not representing correctly how I want these rocks to behave. Like that? No. Alright, hold up. Time to get this thing up and running properly. That means I need to make sure that I have this bit like so. And then that should give me the heads up on this. And most of the time, you know, when I'm trying to do this, you know, I always get quite distracted, but oh well, it always happens. I think once I'm getting well done with it, I think I can get this to work proper. So I need to get these stupid ass rocks to be representing what I want to be representing, so spot a mistake in the drawing. Oh well. Now time to get this thing fixed. Now we can actually go back here and fix up the line work here again. There we go, and now we can continue with the coloring of the texture. Note how I'm always drawing like little drooling lines. It is representing like rock texture. It's not representing rock texture correctly, but it gets the job done. Mainly what I want to do here is actually add in like a little bit of a rough texture on it to get the highlight effect on the third color to be representing the rock outer texture. I think that's the word for it. Yeah, probably. So what is going to be happening here is once I add in the next color, it will make the entire... I see a mistake here as well. Oh well, I'll fix that. So it makes the entire rock come to life, basically. So now we have these rocks here done. You can see that these rocks do require texture to become well done. So I need to do that. There we go. And now we actually have a rock that actually works well. All right. There we go. And now we can actually get towards where I want to be with this again. So let's go and deal with that. So now we have these rocks. These rocks are like big ones, and I think I need to add some more ruggedness to it. Like that, and then I need to remove this one because that one is terrible. So let's do that. Let's remove this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Alright, now I can actually get back at it again. That means I can actually get these things done. Alright. So now I need to get back here, grab that, then go on 6. There we go. Oh. Ah, fucking hell, it's not on red. It's not on black yet. There we go, now that is done. Now that looks a lot more better. Let's see, did I fix anything that I need to fix? That color bit, and then these things are all correct, right? Yeah. Alright, now time to fix the last bit, which is just coloring, and then we can actually start on getting the last bit of the coloring done. So now we have 3 colors. Now we have 2 colors. We have the brown and the light brown. Now we're going to add in a very light brown to compensate for it. And then hopefully that will give me where I want to, well, hopefully it will give me what I want. So now we're going to be adding that in. And that will give us the rock texture that I need for this all. Do I want this on a different layer? I should technically, because that makes it easier for me to remove things or whenever I want to be removing things. And I spotted a mistake. Well, luckily for me, I can actually just go here and clean up the things. There you go. And that should work, right? Yeah, then that is all fixed now. Yes, then I can actually continue with this. And then remove where I want to be removing it, and then go back at it again with a clean view. Now, that does look nice. However, there are some issues here and there. Like the bigger the plateaus, the worse it looks. So I need to fix that later. I will be fixing that once I'm done with this. As expected. Oh, and I spotted something here. Now I can go back, fixing that bit. Wait, what? Why is this not, for fuck's sake? That is not how I want it to be. Alright, give me that color. Yes. Alright, why did that not register on this one? There we go. There we go. Now we're moving up to the next bit. And I spotted some mistakes. There we go. Alright, and that should work. Yes, alright, cool. Then I can now get this one to work, and we're gonna be continuing with the thing. Now that looks a lot better already. Alright. Now the question is, do I want to add more highlight towards this? Because that's the whole point. Like, do I want to add more shine towards these rocks? Most likely yes, but I need to be very, very careful on how I do this, because I want to actually add some more detail towards the big versions of the rock. Because, well, you know, if I don't do that, then the drawing will look odd. So hopefully, once I'm done with this bit, I can then actually add some sparkles to the large plateau, basically. And then after that, I can actually implement the shadows. So shadows always is last, because shadows actually indicate that you can actually, you know, the shadows needs to be done once I have done this bit, that bit, and then I'm done. Alright, so now we need to add something over here. So I can actually add in like bits and pieces like this. And how does that look? It looks good, but there are some bits here and there that where I don't want to have it. Here I don't want to have it, there I don't want to have it, there I don't want to have it, here I don't want to have it. So it's not fully the right solution, so now I need to get some more stuff in there. So I could technically add in some texture. The texture that I want to go for is then this bit, I think. Like spots, maybe? Like if I add spots in here, like... How does that look like? Let's see. That looks terrible. Alright, so these kind of spots is not gonna be happening. Are there any more spots that I can go for? Maybe this? Nope. What about this? That's too big of a size. How about this? That does make things look a little more different, but not how I want it to be happening. So yes, this works, but then I need to make sure that I have it like a little bit more different. Not white, but yellow or orange. And orange could actually work. that. Yeah, that works. Without width, without width, without width. Yeah, let's go with that. Because it's that gentle, I can actually keep it up like that. Alright, so now if I now remove this a little bit. So width, without, width, without. That should work. Yes. Alright, so now we have like a nice looking effect. Time to make sure that that is merged with this one. That way the effect stays, however the effect is now fully workable. Alright, now that we have done that, I now need to get my hands on some more business, which is the drawing, come on, the drawing of the meat drawing, so the summer drawing, well, spring basically. That means that I need to go here, I need to go here, and then go to me. And then I need to get to the new, this one right here. And now I need to grab that color right there and start coloring up the business. Alright, so this is all rocks. Time to get this all into another group. And then that group is going to be the sand part. So time to implement the sand bit. Because right now we only have the rock bit. It's time to implement the sand bit. Of course, this is only just the beginning of the sand, but it makes the sand look a little bit more nicer. And now you can already see how this is going. So we have the sand, we have the rocks, and then, you know, the rocks are above, well, above the layer of the sand. So therefore, you know, I don't have to worry about anything here. So I can just color this all up like that. Bingo. And now we already have like a major quality improvement. Yes, it looks now just like fucking trash sand, but in the end it will look better. I just need to get it all done. So now we have like a smushed kind of sand, but once I'm done with the rest, it should be fine. Alright. Now we have the first layer done, or well, the first coloring bit done. Now it's time to get the next bit done, which is then the color part where I need to be very worrisome. So first, time to add in the darker color and then the light color, but first we add in the light color and then we add the dark color. After that, we need to just go for a tool brush, so it's not that difficult, but There we go. How does that work? I only did partial things, but right now I want to see if I can actually get this a little bit more better. There we go. Now we have that bit done. Now we need to add in the darker color, and then after that we can actually add in the sand. The main issue is that the sand part, I need to make sure that I do that on a different layer. That is the main thing here. Alright. Now I need to make sure that I do everything right. Just like that, it's done. Alright, let's see. So, no, yes. Then go over here. Get this bit done. Alright, now it's time for me to get the things done. So now I need to grab this color again, and now we need to get the effect up and running. So that is the spot effect, if I'm correct. So let's hope I can get it right. Which was this one. And now we need to make sure that I do this on a different layer, because otherwise I'm going to be screwing myself over. Alright. So now I'm going to be going here. Size decrease like 30, I believe. Yes, but not that much. I need a little more better version, so 60 pixels. There we go. And then that should give me a nice amount of effect gain, and then we can actually get now to the next bit, which is the blurring tool, to remove any issues that have been left behind. And then actually then it's 50 minutes in, and then I actually did exactly what I wanted to do today. So nice. I'm very happy with the result, by the way. It looks nice. But I also need to add in some grass, so I'm gonna be doing that bit, and then after that I'm gonna call it quits. And as you can see, I need to actually add in some darker colors here as well. There we go. And now we have exactly what I want. Alright, now that we have done that, we now actually have everything that I need. Now we need to grab just the grass, and then after the grass it's done, it's all good. So the grass is gonna be one layer because, well, you know, it's fucking grass. I don't really care how bad I screwed it up. It's grass. I think I can handle that. There we go, we got some more grass, and then one more grass over here, and then it should be all fine. So that's the grass. Now I need to make sure that I have the grass highlighted. So first things first, add in a lighter color. Not like that. Add in a lighter color. So this bit. No, that's not lighter. That's lighter. It's too light. Hold up. Let's first do this and then get the color I need. So let's go for this, which is just casual green. Just need casual green. Now I need to grab the lighter color. There we go. And then after this, I need to then add a darker color, and then that should be enough. Alright, then we're gonna add in a darker color. Whoop, I saw that. Let's remove the bits that I don't need. And bada bing, bada bong, we're done. Alrighty then, let's save it. Let's save it again. Remove the WebPNG and save it again. And now we're at the base where I want to be. So now we actually have already the part where I want to be with this. Now we need to add in the shading. So let's do that part, and then we should be good. So add in a shading part. That means we're just gonna go here and grab 37 probably. Or I can just add in the dark and then just add the opacity later. Yeah. There you go. Yes, alright, so now I need to get this bit done like that. Now I have that done. Nice. Now I can actually get like what I want to do here, so I can get this bit to, let's see, that one. Yes. And I can actually get this bit. I can remove this bit like that. And then I can add, I like a little bit of a blur to it. No, but I will keep it like this. All right, I will leave it here for now. thanks for watching, and yeah, I must say I'm quite happy with the final result of it all. And next, probably next Friday, or yeah, probably next Friday. Well, upcoming Friday, I will be able to get started on the character design for the person that's on top of it, on top of the rock. So yeah, I hope you'll have enjoyed for now, and thanks for watching. I hope we'll see you next time. Until then, I want to wish you a lovely day, and